Hello everyone, my name is Natalia Gonzalez, and today I'll walk you through a powerful management consulting framework called the Watson Wyatt Human Capital Index. This tool helps organizations understand how people's strategies directly impact financial performances. In this presentation, we'll cover the motivation behind the framework, how it works, its unique features, a real world application to Microsoft, and finally, the limitations and suggestions for improving it to match today's business environment. Let's begin with why this framework matters. Research shows that companies with better HR practices consistently outperforms their competitions. Yet, many organizations struggle to measure how their human capital investment translates into real value. The Watson Wyatt HCI solved this by providing a data driven way to connect HR to business performance. Human Capital Index was developed by Watson Wyatt Worldwide in the early 2000s. It's based on empirical data from over 750 companies and it found that those with strong people practices had market value up to 47% higher than their peers. It focuses on five key areas like recruitment, reward and accountability, workplace culture, communication, and resource use. The index uses company surveys to assess how well organizations perform across 26 HR practices. These scores are then correlated with financial metrics such as productivity and shareholders' return. The idea is simple. If your people practices are strong, your financial outcome will follow. So, what makes the HCI stand out? First, it quantifies HR values with real data. Second, it helps the HR teams to communicate in a financial language, something which executives really appreciate. And third, it gives companies a clear roadmap for benchmarking and improvement. Let's apply the framework to a real world case, Microsoft. In the early 2010s, under CEO Satya Nadella, Microsoft overhauled its talent strategy. They eliminated stack ranking, they promoted transparency and internal mobility, and they invested heavily in learning and development. These changes, aligned with all five HCI pillars, resulted in a massive increase of innovation and a tripling of their stock price in just 6 years. However, the HCI is not perfect. It relies on historical data and may not fully capture modern trends like remote work or DEI. It's also based primarily on US companies, and it assumes a linear link between HR and performance, which isn't always the case. It needs to evolve with today's workplace realities. To make HCI more relevant today, I suggest a few updates. First, incorporate real time analytics and AI. Second, localize the framework to account for cultural and industrial specific differences. And third, include new metrics such as employee well being, sustainability, and inclusion. In conclusion, the Watson Wyatt Human Capital Index is a smart and practical framework that proves how human capital strategy creates business value. Microsoft's transformation shows that when companies align their people practices with performance goals, the impact is significant. With a few updates, this framework can remain a powerful tool for modern leaders. Thank you for listening. I hope this helped you understand how the HCI works and why it matters.